Welcome to Copy Chief Radio. Today's show is a new breed episode where today's most innovative marketing and copywriting stars share their most effective methods for optimizing results in the fast-changing world of direct response marketing. To check out all the Copy Chief Radio episode types, go to copychief.com/CCR. Everybody, welcome. It's Kev. I appreciate your time and attention. And of course, as always, I intend to do good with it. I'm excited to invite back Selena Soo today. She's the second time being a guest on the show. As you probably know, she's a publicity expert and the creator of the program Impacting Millions, which is exactly what it does. That's where she helps her students get major publicity, from articles in like Forbes and Oprah Magazine to interviews in top podcasts. This is, as you know, whether you're a freelancer or you're helping your guru clients get more impact and grow an audience, you got to show up. You got to show up right. And more, I'm seeing freelancers hired to do this, to help create content, to help write pitches, to get on shows. You know, every podcast owner, I can tell you, or host is inundated with pitches every day. It's really easy to tell the phonies from the real deals. And so Selena is all about helping everybody be the real deal by getting really in touch with your message. And she coaches you not only through this program, but she has an incredible team of coaches who will help you get your pitch down and get really comfortable delivering your pitch. In fact, Selena was one of our awesome speakers at Copy Chief Live. And her and Linnea came on and coached 2 or 3 people through their pitches. It was really cool to see it live and in action. So this is not a program. Her program is called Impacting Millions. It only launches once a year. It's coming up. You know, this is the real program where you get empowered to do this your way. This is not about becoming a different version of yourself or having to be disingenuous, right? Or learn to be a performer. It's about optimizing and emphasizing who you really are so that your message can reach more people who need to hear it. And that's how you grow your business, as you know, in this world. So she's here today to talk about how publicity can benefit copywriters. And I know that many copywriters are used to being behind the scenes and don't often think about having the right spotlight on them. But as you know, you're going to reach a point in your career where you may want to step up. And everybody's got to grow their reputation. And the more you can show yourself and show your work, the better off you're going to be. So Selena, thank you so much for being here. It's great to see you again. How's everything?
Things are good. Thank you, Kevin, for that generous introduction.
Yes. Well, it was really great having you at Copy Chief Live and seeing you in action. I mean, we've known each other. I know how closely you work with your students, your members. It was cool to see it in action. And you have a very loving approach, but you're also very direct. And in like 5 minutes, you were completely rewriting and reforming people's pitches for them.
Yes. Yeah. No, I love it.
Can we talk a little bit about what do people struggle with the most when they're first sort of coming up with a pitch? Are they too in their heads about it? We always talk about, for freelancers, we're like our own worst clients. The hardest thing to write about is ourselves.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like for freelancers and copywriters, I mean, we can get into like the pitching piece, but I think the number one thing that comes up is that people don't actually think publicity is for them. And so when you're looking at other people who are getting all the opportunities and you're not, it's not because they're more talented than you or, are so much better. It's simply that you're not putting yourself out there. And so I think that it's important for copywriters to understand why it's important to get publicity and what publicity is. And so publicity is really about you being promoted on a third-party platform. It can be everything from, being on your favorite influencer's podcast, who's endorsing about your work, talking about your methodology, to being on online print publications. For some, it's magazines and TV, and others, it's being a guest expert in someone's program, right? And teaching their students. So I think that it's so important to get our ideas out there and not just stay that best kept secret. Like on the one hand, it sounds sexy, like I'm this best kept secret, but It also means that a lot of people don't even know about you. And it's one thing, for you to tell the world like, hey, I'm really good at what I do. but it's another thing to get those endorsements from influencers, entrepreneurs, media outlets. So I would just say that that is number one, that a lot of copywriters are thinking it's not for them. They identify as more of a behind the scenes person. Maybe some of them even identify as being introverted and shy, which I can relate to. But I just wanted to kind of take a moment to really underscore the importance of putting yourself out there, being seen by other influential people, getting those endorsements in order to grow your business.
It's so big. I remember when I was sort of starting myself as a freelancer, I started to notice it when I'd go to like a conference or something and somebody would say, "Hey, your name came up the other day. I was talking to Frank Kern." And I'm like, "What? Frank Kern knows my name? How could that even be?" And it was just because I was, even though I felt like a little fish, and basically I was just like posting what I was learning. So I was just sort of like learning and sharing in real time because I was kind of lonely still. Like there wasn't all the communities like there are now, and to find out people were reading it. I thought the only way to know if somebody was paying attention is if they were commenting or engaging, but you find out, so many people see it, even if they don't say anything.
Yeah. I mean, for a podcast, there may be a couple thousand people downloading and listening to your episode, right? So how powerful to get your message across to thousands of people, hundreds, tens of thousands at one time versus one by one word of mouth. And yeah, sometimes like it doesn't seem like people are engaging with the content, but at the end of the day, it just takes one person, one ideal client, one influencer, one referral. So yeah, I think it's important to set yourself up to be lucky and to be known.
That's a great point. Exactly. And I want to point out that Selena has this great free download that she's going to give out at the end here. It's a publicity calendar, and it's a great resource for every copywriter. It teaches you how to relate current events to what you're pitching and how to make it relevant to, and again, whether it's for you or for a client, to make it relevant to get yourself into major publications. And it's just a really cool thing to think about as a copywriter. Is like, what's going on in the world right now that I can add a little spice and relevance into what I'm writing?
Yeah, no, I'm excited about it. It's my annual publicity calendar. So it's 12 months worth of story ideas, special dates, and hooks to get into the media. Because at the same time, every year, there are certain topics, there are certain events that are really relevant. And, when you're being featured in the media, they want to tie it to something, right now. Like, why is this important for this period of time? Things that people are naturally interested in. So I'm really excited about it. And a lot of entrepreneurs, I know 7-figure entrepreneurs, even 8-figure entrepreneurs, they like download this calendar, they share it with their teams. In addition to using it for publicity, they use it for content planning for the year, social media, newsletter. So yeah, I highly recommend that people would check it out. And just real quick, the link is copychief.com/publicity calendar, 40 plus pages full of story ideas, hooks, dates to get into the media. And it's 100% for free.
Love it. So generous. And of course, those link will be in the show notes and in the email itself. Ask any experienced freelancer and they'll tell you that getting started and landing those first few clients, it's the hardest part. If you're struggling to find consistent work, you want to build more confidence in your skills, or you're just starting out in your freelance journey, don't worry. That's exactly why I created Escape Velocity. It's my step-by-step coaching program for how to kickstart a freelance career, attract quality clients, and confidently deliver great work. Let me help you find and close good gigs so you can quickly launch and grow a successful and sustainable freelance writing business. Learn more at copychief.com/EV. Copychief.com/EV. I'll see you there. It's almost more important now to be relevant because we are evolving slowly as a society. And there are more events to be aware of that are more inclusive events and things that, you know what I mean? Like to have on your radar and to make relevant, especially for major publications. They want to know that you're hip to that stuff.
Absolutely. And I want to go back to your question because it was so good. Like, what are the biggest mistakes that,
Yeah.
copywriters and other entrepreneurs are making when they pitch the media? So one thing that I think is essential is you get really clear on what your goals are. Why do you want to get publicity? Is it because, you are looking to get high ticket one-on-one clients that you're going to write for? Is it that you have a group program and you're looking to enroll a good number of people in that program? Is it that you're looking to get a book deal and you want publicity that's going to impress a publisher, right? So it's really important to get clear on what your goal is because there's going to be publicity that corresponds with that goal. Another thing that I ask entrepreneurs to get crystal clear on is what is their business model? What is like the 80-20 of their business? For example, I have my Impacting Millions program. That is a primary way that I help entrepreneurs. And we're so blessed to have, hundreds of people go through the program every year. But let me give an example. A couple of years ago, I had a mastermind and it was a business mastermind. In that mastermind, we had entrepreneurs that were looking to scale their business, and things that they were also really interested in addition to publicity, were things like, how do I find a project manager and retain people on my team? And I think that sometimes as entrepreneurs, we get tired of talking about the same thing and being like put in this box. But if I go into podcasts, I start talking about how to build team culture, how to hire a marketing manager, how to hire a project manager, even though I'm adding value. When people listen to that, they're going to think, oh, like Selena is someone that can help me scale, my team. And that's not really what I want to be known for. Like my mastermind had a small handful, like 10 to 25 people at a time. But when I look at my core business and the hundreds of people, they're in my Impacting Millions program. So it's the same for every single person listening. You might have multiple offers, different passions, but when you look at your business, what is the offering? Are they signing up for, VIP days with you? Are you writing email sequences? Do you specialize in Facebook ads, video scripts, and so forth? Based on what you specialize in and, what you want people to buy, that should be what you talk about. So
Great.
Copy is broad, marketing is broad.
Right.
But if you serve a specific audience of people, maybe it's tech entrepreneurs or heart-centered entrepreneurs or coaches, that makes your specialty more specific. And maybe there's a particular type of copy, like website copy versus Facebook ads. So you really want to narrow in on what you want to be known for. And that really should be connected to what your business offers are.
That's so smart. It can even be a particular platform. If you really understand, say like Infusionsoft or Klaviyo or any of those, right? You can connect well on that stuff. It's so true. And I always say that too, like I call it authority content. And even if somebody's newer to the business and feels like, oh, I'm not quite an authority, I don't have the experience. I say, start writing it anyway, because for two things. Number one, like I didn't have a plan for it then, but it started resonating. And then I started to see a path for it. Two is half the value of writing authority content is to check in with your own expertise, your own knowledge of a topic. And sometimes when you almost like write yourself into a corner where it's like, this feels like I should give 3 steps to how to actually do this now. How would I define these 3 steps? Can I name them something? Maybe you organically come up with a name for a process, right? And now it's like, oh, this is like, I'm creating IP here. This is becoming really valuable. This could be a lead magnet. And then it spreads from there. It's a very organic process.
And, I think it's just so powerful to build our body of work and not just, give it to people when they request it, but to have it out there on the internet so that when people Google your name, if they haven't heard of you before, they can see, wow, you're someone who is like really serious about your craft. You are being invited by other people, other platforms to share your ideas. And then people are reading your content, your ideas, your thought leadership. And before they get on the phone with you, they already see you in this elevated right?
Yes.
So it's like saving time for everyone.
That's so true. I tell freelancers all the time in my like higher level coaching, when they're really embracing authority content and putting themselves out there, doing publicity, I say there's going to be a moment that will blow your mind. I promise it's going to happen if you stick with this plan. And here's what it looks like. You're going to get on a call with a prospect and they're going to be like a little nervous to talk to you. because
so
they
cool.
right, they see you as a celebrity and they're like, oh, it's kind of like weird to hear your voice. And because I've listened to you so much talk about this, and you're like, what? And then they'll write to me or they'll call me and they'll go, it happened. It was so weird. But I promise you're closing every deal. When somebody just is hoping they can get a minute of your time because they've become a fan because you've taught them something, it's a completely different proposition than you meeting somebody who is like, hey, how much is it to do this or that? Like, price is now the third concern. Number one is, can I even talk to you? Number two is, can I actually hire you? Number three is, can I afford you?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. It's like the celebrity effect.
Yeah, it's amazing. It really is. And again, this is an organic process. This is not about you having to become someone you're not. It's so fun to me to watch people who have been in this industry a long time, really working behind the scenes. And then they join our program and we start to discover what they're into, what other knowledge they have. We have one guy who's a very high level copywriter, who's always worked behind the scenes, but he's also a theater director and had years of performance experience. And so he's got this really interesting lens to look at sort of like the theatrical theater of the mind aspect of copy and how to create that and how to infuse that into your writing, right? And he's a very good teacher because he's a director. He has to be a good communicator with people. And so he has all these inherent skills. And to see him starting to, email his list about those things really lights me up, and it lights him up too. It's just a whole new branch of your business all of a sudden.
Yeah, no, I like what you said about being able to email a list, because one of the biggest benefits of, getting publicity is growing an audience for yourself, versus only writing for one-on-one clients, but having the option one day to host workshops, to have your own group program, to be invited by other people to be a speaker for their groups. When you start getting publicity and positioning yourself as the expert, you open up these leveraged opportunities for your business.
That's so true. I would say that's probably the greatest invite you get. I know it was for me many times, where it's like, will you come speak to my mastermind about?
Yeah.
And you're like, you not only get to go to this great mastermind and spend 3 days with these amazing people, you get to be an expert, and everybody there, they invited you because everybody there needs what you know. And so it's an amazing, and I've ended up joining a couple of those masterminds where people ask me first to come speak, because it was just like, wow, I wouldn't have even known about this group if they didn't need what I know about.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like, even if you're not looking to become niche famous or any of those things, the way publicity will manifest opportunities. What'd you say? Setting yourself up to be lucky. I love that. It's exactly what it is. And you don't even know what that luck will look like until it happens sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So good. All right, Selena, I'm going to respect your time. And what people need to do is just go download this calendar, because that alone will be so eye-opening. Again, if you're a copywriter and you do nothing but just open this thing, it'll give you 300 ideas of how to relevant content for you, for your clients. And then you'll be in a position to become aware when Selena starts launching her Impacting Millions, and she has some free workshops. She gives away a ton of free content. So if you think this is at all for you, you'll have lots of chances to understand better what Selena and her team do, all for free, and then decide if it's a good fit for you. And, you'd be really smart to study what Selena does. I mean, how great is it to have a business where you only have to launch one product once a year, and you get to spend the rest of the year just putting out awesome content? That's a pretty good gig.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel blessed. I love my business. And yes, as Kevin was saying, my publicity calendar, you can get it at copychief.com/publicity calendar. And it's 40 plus pages full of story ideas, special dates and hooks that you can use to get into the media. And a lot of this information can also be applied to newsletter content, social media content, and so forth. So go to copychief.com/publicity calendar to get it.
I love it. Great pitch. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Selena, we'll do it again soon. I appreciate you.
Sounds awesome.
Bye-bye. Hey, don't forget your goodies. Head over to copychief.com/copychiefradio to get some great free stuff to help you put the things you hear on the show into action for your business. copychief.com/CCR.